Listen closely, because I believe God brought you to this exact moment for a reason, and whether you realize it or not, every breath you are taking right now is proof that your purpose is still alive inside you. And I know, life hasn't been easy, pain has walked beside you longer than peace has, you've smiled in public and cried in private, you've encouraged others while silently battling storms in your own mind. Sometimes feeling like no one sees how heavy your heart really is, but let me remind you today that God has seen every tear you've ever cried, He has heard every silent prayer you whispered into your pillow at night, and He was standing right beside you on the days you felt completely alone, because He promised in His word, "I will never leave you nor forsake you," and that means even in your most broken moments, even when you thought you had no strength left, God was carrying you. And maybe you feel stuck in fear, stuck in guilt, stuck in your past mistakes, stuck in disappointment, asking yourself, why is life so hard for me? But let me tell you something important. Your struggle is not evidence of God abandoning you, your struggle is evidence that God is building you. Diamonds are formed under pressure, warriors are trained in battle, and champions rise through challenges. God is preparing you for the greatness He already sees inside you, even if you can't see it yet. And yes, there were days you almost gave up, days you questioned your worth, days when anxiety made simple things feel impossible, but guess what? You survived those days, and that means there is a strength inside you that even you don't fully understand yet, a strength that God Himself placed inside your heart. You are still here because God still has a plan, and even when doors closed, relationships ended, and people walked away, God was protecting you from what wasn't meant for your destiny, because not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Some people are in your life for a season, but God is preparing you for a lifetime purpose, so stop thinking you are behind, stop thinking you are not enough, because God has not made any mistake with your life. He chose you before the world even existed, and He did not choose you for failure, He chose you for purpose, He chose you for impact, He chose you to shine. And I know sometimes your mind is a battlefield, negative thoughts attack you, fear screams louder than faith, doubt tries to convince you that nothing will change. But let me speak truth over your life. The enemy attacks those who are valuable, so if you're being attacked, that means you are carrying something powerful inside you that the devil is terrified of. Your calling threatens him, your potential scares him, your future is too bright for the darkness to remain silent. So breathe, calm your heart, and remember, your story isn't over just because you're struggling. God writes the best chapters after the deepest pain. Every setback will become a comeback, every loss will become a lesson, and every valley you walk through will lead you to a stronger version of yourself standing on the mountain of victory. God is not done with you, He is guiding you step by step, even in the silence, even when you can't feel Him, because faith is not about what you see, it's about who you trust, and you can trust God with your life, because He already knows the ending. And spoiler alert, you win, so lift. Sometimes in life you look around and it feels like everyone else is moving forward while you are stuck in the same place, and in those silent moments you ask yourself, why is my life not changing? Why is God not answering me? But what you don't realize is that God is not ignoring you, He is preparing you, He is strengthening areas inside you that you cannot see yet, because He knows the weight of the blessings that are coming your way. He knows that the calling on your life is bigger than the battles you face right now, so He is letting patience, endurance, and courage grow within you day by day, even through the pain. Sometimes God closes doors not because He wants to punish you, but because He is protecting you from places you were never meant to go, people who were never meant to stay, and paths that were too small for the greatness He has designed inside you. And yes, there will be nights where you cry yourself to sleep, mornings where motivation doesn't exist, days where you don't feel like praying, moments where fear screams louder than faith. But that doesn't mean God left you. It means He is calling you to trust Him deeper, to rely not on your own strength but on His unlimited strength. Every challenge you are facing right now is a tool in God's hand, carving you into the person who will inspire others with the very story you are living today, because your testimony is being built in the shadows before it shines in the light. You may look at your life and see delay, but God looks at your life and sees development. You see waiting, but God sees becoming. Even the silence has purpose. When a seed is buried underground, it looks like the end, but actually, it is the beginning of growth, and that is exactly what God is doing with you. He is turning the deepest parts of your hurt into the strongest parts of your purpose. The enemy wants you to believe that you are alone, that you are forgotten, that God does not care, but the truth is, if God didn't care, you wouldn't still be here, breathing, surviving, fighting through the things that should have destroyed you, because God has been your protector even when you didn't know danger was near. He carried you through storms you didn't see, He saved you from battles you didn't notice, He loved you even when you didn't love yourself, and now He is saying to you, hold on, I'm not done with you yet. Your future is still full of promise. Your story is still unfolding, your destiny is still coming alive, so don't give up in the middle of your transformation, because every great testimony begins with a difficult season, and right now, God is writing a story that will one day make you say, it was hard, but it was worth it. So stand firm, stand strong, and keep believing, because the same God who helped you survive yesterday is the God who will lead you to victory tomorrow. Sparkles raising hands. There will come a time in your life when fear tries to convince you that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, that your prayers are too late, and in those moments the enemy whispers lies like, you will fail again, nothing will change, you are on your own. But fear is a liar, because God did not create you to drown in anxiety or live chained by worry. He created you to walk with your head high, knowing that heaven stands behind you, that every step you take in faith is backed by the power that created the universe. And yes, fear may knock at your door, but you do not have to let it sit in your heart, because when Jesus enters the room, fear loses its voice, darkness loses its power, chains lose their strength, and hope rises again within you. Remember that fear says, what if you fall? But faith says, what if you fly? Fear points to your weakness, but faith points to God's strength. Fear reminds you of your past failures, but faith reminds you of God's unfailing promises. Fear sees giants, but faith sees victory. And maybe today you feel afraid of what's ahead, afraid of losing, afraid of trying, afraid of trusting, afraid of being disappointed one more time. But God is whispering into your heart right now, I go before you, I walk beside you, and I stay behind you to protect you. So how can you be afraid when the Almighty is covering every side of your life? You may feel small, but the God who lives in you is greater than anything you will ever face. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel fear, it means you will not let fear stop you. Faith means stepping out even when the ground is not visible, believing even when the answer hasn't come, praising even while the storm is raging, trusting even when everything looks impossible. Because the God who opens oceans for His children is the same God who will make a way for you. Fear wants you to give up before you see the miracle, but faith wants you to keep going until the miracle has no choice but to.